Welcome. This is Mr. Perry, and we are continuing our series, Evolution and Natural Selection. As always, of course, we love you listening, but we also want you to take notes and read along with us if you can. If you want to be a great dancer, you've got to dance. And if you want to be a great reader, which I know you can be, you've got to read. So read along with us as we go through evolution and natural selection. Let's begin. We begin with our statement from Charles Darwin from before. It says, "It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change." That is, if a species has the ability to change, it has a good chance of survival. So let's look at a few points. Artificial selection or breeding. What is artificial selection? Well, it's purposely selecting which plants or animals to breed in order to pass on specific traits to the next generation. Some examples are selecting cows that produce the most milk to produce top milking cows, or breeding dogs that can herd animals, producing herding dogs. Selective breeding. DNA defines work. Breeders and scientists can purposely select individuals that show traits that are desired, and then breed those individuals to others that have the same traits, such as breeding a larger German Shepherd animal to another larger Shepherd to get offspring that are larger than the average German Shepherd. Evidence supporting evolution, and I'll warn you, these are some fairly technical terms, but we will be examining them more as we go along, so you'll get a better idea of what they mean. Okay, so don't let them scare you. Biogeographical patterns, or species, are divided by geography and evolve separately. Microevolution. Evolution witnessed in populations that reproduce quickly. Biological molecules. Evidence in our DNA and body chemistry. Homologous structures, which is similar bone structures, but no recent common ancestor. Fossil records. Organism evidence found in sediment, amber, peat bogs, tar pits. Analogous features. Similar environments can produce similar adaptations. Vestigial organs. Organ structures that no longer serve a purpose. And embryo evidence. Ms. V has put together a tip to kind of help you remember these. It is big mama birds have fruit and vegetables every day. One more time, quickly. Big mama birds have fruits and vegetables every day. Got it? Good. Evolution evidence. Biogeographical patterns. Biogeographical patterns. When a landmass breaks off or a few individuals are blown off course during a storm and become increasingly different as they adapt in isolation to another environment. Island species often come from mainland ancestors. Marsupials of Australia. Darwin's finches in the Galapagos and many species on the Hawaiian Islands are unique to their island settings, but have distant relationships to ancestral species on mainlands. And marsupials are animals that carry their young in pouches, such as koala and opossum. Evolution evidence, or microevolution. An example, 1950s, worldwide efforts were made to eradicate or destroy malaria-carrying mosquitoes. The pesticide, DDT, was sprayed broadly in areas where the mosquitoes lived And at first, the DDT was highly effective at killing the mosquitoes. However, over time, the DDT became less and less effective, and more mosquitoes survived. This was because the mosquito population evolved resistance to the pesticide. And here we have it. A few mosquitoes have DDT resistant alleles. We remember alleles. They are in our chromosome structure. Most mosquitoes have non-resistant alleles. So we spray the DDT, and the mosquitoes with the resistant alleles survive, while the mosquitoes with the non-resistant alleles die, as we can see here. So we look at our result. Survivors reproduce over several generations. And as we can see, the population now consists entirely of mosquitoes with resistant alleles, which means you can spray and spray, but you will not kill those mosquitoes because of their resistant alleles. Evolution evidence, microevolution. Now, microevolution is observations of evolution in fast reproducing organisms. Some examples: drug-resistant bacteria, pesticide-resistant insects, mosquitoes, and fruit flies can reproduce and become adults in 8 to 10 days. So you can watch them throughout their whole evolution. Evolution evidence, biological molecules. What is a biological molecule? At the most basic level, all living organisms share the same genetic material, or DNA, the same or highly similar genetic codes. Evidence of evolution, homologous and structures. Homologous structures are structures in different species that have different functions, yet share a similar bone structure, showing a shared common ancestor. Similar bone structure, same ancestor, different function. An example: human arm, dog leg, bird wing, and whale fin appear similar in structure, but do different things. Evolution evidence, fossil record. Fossils show the existence of non-extinct species that lived on Earth during different periods of the planet's history. Fossils help scientists reconstruct the evolutionary histories of present-day species. Fossils, the remains of organisms like plants and animals that were once living. Now, often fossils are found in rock layers, tree sap, or bogs. An example: records of fossils from the first horses to present day show the reduction of toed feet to hooves. Evolution of horses through fossil records. Fossil records show that modern-day horses are related to a fox-sized animal called Eohippus, which later evolved into today's horses. Horse ancestor, little Eohippus. Fossil records of the horse. Fossil records show that living organisms change through time, become diversified, that is, have variation, and become extinct. Evidence of evolution, analogous features. Analogous features are structures or traits that have similar functions but don't have a recent common ancestor. Same function, different ancestor. Example: Arctic foxes have fur, and ptarmigan birds have feathers in the Arctic. Both change from a dark color in summer to white in the winter. Evolution evidence, vestigial organs. Now, vestigial organs are structures that no longer seem to serve a purpose, but are similar, homologous, to useful structures in other organisms. Examples: tailbone of humans with the hind leg bones of whales, with underdeveloped legs found in some snakes. Evolution evidence: embryos. Several different organisms have similar embryos as they developed, and the more closely related to an ancestor, the longer the embryo will look like that ancestor before birth. So we have embryos from fish, reptile, a bird, a pig, and a human. And when they're young, they look quite a bit alike. But as they develop, the more related they are, the more they change. Embryos. Man's influence on living organisms. Now, humans have contributed to the extinction of many organisms through overhunting, destruction of habitat. That's an example of railroads and pipelines going through lands which have changed how animals have evolved. Refrigeration: meat can be easily kept from spoiling and can be easily transported. And we have the passenger pigeon, which is extinction by man. And as you can see here, there are many birds. And one once said the sky was black for hours at a time during the migration of passenger pigeons. And it is said here, passenger pigeon extinction. Before extinction, vast numbers of passenger pigeons migrated through Indiana, with many nesting in the state's forests in the spring. Pigeon roosts, which spread over miles and could damage and topple trees, often attracted amazed onlookers and hunters. The last verified passenger pigeon in the wild was shot about 5 miles from where this plaque is, near Laurel. That's in Laurel, Indiana, on April 3rd, 1902. That is, those birds went extinct. So there you have it. You have a lot of information, and you have some videos to watch as well. Hope you took good notes, and I hope you listened well. And if you have a chance, and if you need to, listen again. But get it done, and hit it and quit it. Let's go.